So we have cloudy skies, mostly. A little blue poking through here and there. Got a high-flying turkey buzzard up there. I was going to introduce you to my gardens first. This is this little strawberry garden, and as you can see, we're starting to get some strawberries. I planted these last year from bare root, and I actually got some berries, even though they said that you needed to pluck the flowers and not let them fruit out the first year, because you wanted all the energy to go, to the roots and to the plant for a better harvest this year. Well, apparently I did pretty good, because oh my gosh, just in this little bitty area, I've got all these strawberries. And I've got my helper here. There's Poncho. He's helping. And for some color, I've got irises. The irises are pretty much flowered out. I walk around here to, this is the fenced-in herb garden. It used to be the garden until Scott built me the big one. And in here are mostly herbs. Well, I would say all herbs, and then a few little trees that we've gathered, that we're growing. We have chives. The flowers are pretty much about done on the chives. And behind here we have comfrey. This is very prolific. I'll have to go through here and kind of thin this out a little bit and throw some of these on the compost pile. Eventually, this in here will be probably some calendula and chamomile. That's what I grew in here last year. And more chives. And I'm really proud of this. This is my St. John's wort. No flowers yet, but look how the greenery is really healthy. Doing real good. And there will be basil grown in here. We have cilantro. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good. I've been plucking some off of this plant and drying them so I can have some dried cilantro for the winter. This here and that, those are my two lemon balm. They grow crazy. Lots. I mean, the winter doesn't do anything to them. Here we have anise hyssop. It's growing really good. I know it looks kind of small, but it's actually bigger than it was last year, so it came back, so I'm real happy about that. And here's one of the bee balm, or bergamot, if you prefer, that I transplanted last year, and it's doing really good. Another plant's over here. You'll see it in a minute. Not a lot in here right now. It used to be asparagus, but it looks like most of that's kind of back there in the corner right now. Not really doing anything. Somewhere under here, right in here, I have turmeric and ginger. I'm going to have to get in there and dig and see if any of that's survived. And this is my first year for horseradish. I grew it in a bucket because we've got voles here, and I didn't want them eating on my root crops. So a lot of my root crops this year are in containers. That's the one surviving sage plant. We have wascally wabbits who like to build their nests in here, their burrows, and have their babies in here. And I've had 3 plants in here, 3 or 4 plants, and that's really the only one that survived. We have oregano, and I think that's one of the mints. I'm not real sure which one. It kind of snuck in there somehow. And this is the mother bergamot bee balm plant that I thin every year. And from this plant, I planted the one that you just saw, and then earlier this year, I thinned this out before it got too big. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 more places that I've planted transplants, and it's doing really, really good. And this little baby here is redbud. The other one that you saw at the beginning was a dogwood. And as you can tell, the top's kind of tipped off. That's because one of my little doggies liked to chew on sticks and they broke it. But it came back, so I'm going to baby it and see how it goes. Anyway, that's it for a little herb garden. I probably will plant some more sage in here. I'm debating whether to put dill back in here. I had dill last year and I only got 2 or 3 plants, so I may put them out with the vegetables, so, or at least some of them. And anyway, there's another chive plant back there in the background. And yes, I do grow dandelions. I let them grow because the bigger the root gets, the bigger, better. Once I get ready to harvest it, the roots are bigger and easier to chop up and dry out. Okay, what else? That's it. Oh, my dianthus. I gotta show my dianthus off. That's just for some color, just to make it pretty. And that's it for this. I'm gonna pause and we'll go to the next. Okay, here is, I call it my little wheelbarrow garden, or for now, right now, it's the wheelbarrow nursery for anise hyssop, calendula, cornflower, German chamomile, and holy basil. And more than likely, the holy basil gets really crazy big, so more than likely this is going to be all, once everything gets kind of up and growing, this will be all holy basil. And I am just going to, I dry a lot during the summer, spring and summer. When it's growing, I use it fresh for tea, and also then dry it for the winter. I'll have it for winter teas. And over here, that's hollyhock. It's part shade, part sun. Shade, it's in the shade right now. I tried growing corn in here last year and that didn't work. I mean, I got some plants that grew, but the corn was just nothing. There was nothing there. So we're going to move that over to what you'll see, the new corn garden. Here is one of the transplants of the bee balm. And there's another one. And oh my gosh, my roses are blooming. This is my memorial garden, but I'll show you more of that when I go into that garden. And for now, just look back to my herb garden and the back of the house and clouds. And we'll pause again. Okay, these are some of my potted plants. I have lemongrass. And these are, I believe they're called bog iris or flag iris. They're yellow and they've already flowered out. I'll be thinning those out and transplanting them around. This is kind of a nursery for them. I've got a whole lot of them under the big oak tree out there. So once I get these transplanted, then I'll move some more. And one of the lavender plants, and this is the only one that's blooming. I'm not quite sure why the other lavenders have not bloomed, but I've been pulling the flowers off and putting them back for drying so I can have them later on. And there's the other big lavender and other lemongrass. These were all overwintered in the garage and they did pretty good, kind of scraggly, but they did good. They survived. And my little hanging plant here, I have thyme right here. It's kind of, I need to trim that. But this got thyme here and then lavender, and there may be some mint in there that came back. It was an experiment last year. And these are the ones that survived. Probably transplant the thyme back out into the big garden. Hummingbird feeder. Yes, we do get ruby-throated hummingbirds, and they are here. I think I've seen 2 of them. I don't know if they're both males, but I know one of them is. Okay, and here on the table we have another nursery of, these are mixed zinnias. They're coming up well. African daisies. Yes, doing good. Stinging nettle, I'm just like holding my breath on this because I really want some stinging nettle to get going. And evergreen white bunching onions. I got one, but I've just planted these, so, and maybe they're just that slow. And here are my soil blocks. They're look a little dried out, but they're actually okay. We got quite a few coming up. Not as many as I want, and I'm not sure why. Some of them are not, but some of them are. We'll work on that. It's always an experiment. And here we have citronella. Started from the big plant, and I transplanted, and we've got another plant trying to help keep the mosquitoes down on the deck. And lantana, which the butterflies and hummingbirds absolutely love. And moving on, rosemary. I love my rosemary. Rosemary smells so good. And I overwintered this because, along with the lavender and the other stuff, because the winters up here, I don't know, every time I've grown it in the garden, it kills it. I have to replant every year. So I put them in pots, put them in the garage in the winter, and so far they've done really, really well. And then we've just got a couple of hanging baskets, kind of scraggly looking. Again, these were in the garage. They're just now kind of coming out. But Boston fern, that's from my grandmother, my mama. She had tons of Boston fern. She was a Boston fern lady. And this has a combination of lantana and begonia, and on the other side, there is some dianthus. Okay, so on to next. Okay, just a little shorty here, but this is a little small garden. I call it my GK7 garden, grandkids 7, and though that's going to have to change to GK8 come July, because we got another one on the way. But anyway, for now, I transplanted some of the tiger lilies that I had in the memorial garden, and of the ones I planted, these 3 are surviving. So I'm not sure. Seems like I threw some seeds in here, but I forgot if I did or not. I wrote it down somewhere, but I forgot it. Anyway, we'll have something else coming up in there. And, oh, there's Pancho again. Hi, Pancho. You say hi? Okay. And, of course, I have lots of flowers. This is Snow Queen Clematis. It's about 3-4 years old. And beside it is a new one that I planted last year. I actually planted 2 new ones last year, and this is the only one that came back. But here's the thing. I planted this clematis, and for, probably 5-6 years ago, and it stayed dormant or whatever until a couple of years later, and then it started growing. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going out. So we have clematis. It's very pretty. And this year, it's just amazing the amount of flowers that I'm getting this year. The weather has just been just right for everybody. This, I believe, the new one is going to be kind of a light purple. It may be a darker purple. I just can't remember. Well, I don't know, because which one survived of the 2 that I planted. And on to wisteria. This, I believe, is its 5th year. I believe it is. And again, I mean, look at this. This is full of blooms. Oh, it's just like crazy. Crazy blooms. I have to go in here and kind of trim it every year. You know, there's one of our neighborhood carpenter bees. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And they smell really good. Look back at these, look at the color. They have a tendency, as you can see, the tendrils coming out and they grab a hold of the maple tree. So I have to kind of keep them trimmed down. And I trim it back it's usually in January when it's the coldest, and get it, all the scraggly branches trimmed off, and it looks, get it looking neater. And Scott built this arch for me, and I don't know if you can really see it, but that's a chandelier that we got. It was used, and I took all the electric stuff out of it and repainted it and just kind of rehung all the little crystals that were hanging on it. And what else? Oh, well, let's go see the gate and let the dogs run. There they go. Go see our neighborhood dogs. Yes, that's the first place they head every time we let them out the gate. Okay. Just a back look at the archway. Got iris down at the bottom on both sides. And so through the gate we go. And we've got this is a little nursery of pine trees. We went to Oklahoma earlier this week and picked these up. Real nice guy. Big Brad's bonsais. He makes a lot of bonsais out of pretty much any tree that you can imagine. But he had a lot of these that they pulled off of their family place, and he sold these because we wanted some. We're going to put some of them along the front kind of perimeter to help define our property and hide the road noise. That is a pepper plant, jalapeno pepper plant from last year, and they said that if I did this and then replanted it in the spring back in the garden, I shouldn't have to wait as long for jalapeno peppers, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. And of course, here's a couple of Scott's little cedars that he's been digging up and planting here and there, again for the boundary perimeter. And here's a big look at the big garden. The cane poles that you see here are for the beans whenever I get ready to plant them. And I don't really have a layout right this second on what's going to go in all this blank area, but I've got lettuce and beans and all sorts of veggies, spinach, kale, and that's, I think, all the above ground crops are going to go here. And I'll show you where I've done the root crops. Again, dandelions, I keep them. When they get big enough, I'll pull them all up and use the roots. Scott put this watering system in for me earlier this year, and it's so far working really good. Though we hadn't really had a need to use it because of the rain. Garlic. I believe these are all soft necks because I'm not getting any scapes coming up on them. There's the other bunch of them. Anyway, and here's the big patch of strawberries. Lots of strawberries. And yes, lots of flowers, and there's a lot of berries in there. They're just almost ready to pick, the ones that are ripe. You can kind of see. One row of turnips and 3 rows of different kinds of beets. I did this for the bowls because it's just like I'm not getting my beets, and I'm thinking that they're getting under there, digging under and eating them. And here's the other rest of the garlic, looking really good. They should be ready in June. That's what I'm hearing. keeping a watch on it. Okay, there's another one of my bergamot transplants. And had to put a cage over here. I don't know if the gladiolas are going to come up or not. I'm hoping they will. They did fine last year. And these are 2 of the 3 tiger lilies that I planted. And rabbits, rascally rabbits, nibbling on my plants. So I had to put the cage over it, and we'll see how they look like they're going to survive. Just going to be kind of scraggly. Okay, and there's the bird bath. And these are not tiger lilies. They're day lilies. And this is a memorial garden that I made after my dad passed away in 2021, and it is also from our dog Finn and our dog Bear, and Max and Molly too, though they've been gone quite a while. But anyway, we made it for them. Not sure what those are, but it's probably leftover seeds from the flowers that I was growing in here last year. It's crazy. Anyway, dianthus here. And look, oh my gosh, look at the roses. Pretty rose bush. My dad liked roses, so that's why we put them in there. And this little baby, I believe these are zinnias. And here, I pulled out all the stuff earlier that was growing in there and transplanted. It was dianthus, I believe. That dianthus there was in here, and I transplanted it. And this is where my morning glory, I planted it last year, and I actually got some flowers. I don't know. I may have to replant. I haven't really read up on it to know if I have to replant it or not, but we'll see. There's another one of my bee balm bergamots, and there's some more comfrey. And here I have Calla, I can't remember which one they are, lilies. They're not ready yet. It's still too cool for them. And my little seating area. And lemon balm. And there's one of the other Calla lilies, the big ones. I've got several spread out over our property. And there's another bee balm. And this is our new corn garden. And as you can see, I have something growing. And I Google lensed it, and it says it's a cucumber, which wouldn't be surprising because we got the compost out of our compost pile in the back, and stuff kind of gets in there, seeds. Anyway, it's either cucumber or squash, but I'm pretty sure it's a cucumber, which I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not because I'm not real big on. We don't use a lot of cucumbers, but I grow them anyway, just a few. Anyway, that's it. And leftover cane poles. Don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. We'll figure something out. Anyway, back look at the big garden, back of the house. Garlic. There's the herb garden over there. Wheelbarrow. Shed. Memorial garden. This is our sitting area. And we're going to head out to the big oak tree. Okay, coming up. Oh, chasing rabbits. Chasing rabbits. We have a lot of rabbits around here. Okay, this is the oak tree garden. As you can see, I have the most beautiful peonies this year. I have 3 plants in here. The ones that have the blooms out right now is the oldest plant. And it produced 1 flower last year. This year I've already cut 4 or 5 off of that plant, and it's still got, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had another 6, and look, and this is the next oldest one, and it's fixing to bloom out. It's going to be different. I think that's a lighter pink. And then the youngest plant is over here, and it's got one decent bud on it, but I don't know if it's going to come out or not. And there's bog iris. That's what I have in the nursery back over on the deck. And we'll see. I need to get in here, obviously, and kind of clean out some stuff, but I have a lot of coreopsis that comes up, and we'll see how, if they come back again this year. Big old oak tree, best oak tree, and hackberry. We're letting it grow. Okay, this is the only surviving hosta. I've planted 3 hostas in here, and that's the only surviving one. It's come back. This is the 3rd year that it's come back. What we got here? Oh, that's one of the peas. It's a cover crop, and look at there, it's got some stuff on there. And I don't think, I can't tell if that's not, nope, that's not a ladybug, that's the other one. It's got more than 7 spots on it. Okay, got a bird feeder for the winter, or whenever I feel like throwing stuff out. And we have some irises here. Those are new. I just planted those last year. And leftover pansy. They're doing okay. And dianthus. Okay, and here we go. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of scan through here and just kind of back there in the corner. That is that's where our doggies are. Bear and Finn, Max and Molly. And I'm letting it kind of grow wild, but there are some irises and surprise lilies and sedum, and I think I put, no, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to put something else out there this year. I did put some wildflower seed out there late last year, so I don't know if that's going to come back or not. And there's brambles, or blackberries, wild blackberries, right there on the right. We're letting the trees grow up on the tree line. Oh, there went some swallows. We got swallows, we got bugs. There's our grapevine. And brambles growing in it too. We had a really good harvest of grapes last year. We'll see how it does this year. And this is the big backyard. We call it the dog park. The dogs can get out and really run, stretch their legs. And just a little bit of a roundabout here. Backyard, herb garden, trailer port, and boat port. And that's about it. Skies are getting bluer by the minute. I don't know if we're going to get any more rain or not. They said we are. Anyway, it's a really pretty day today. Really nice. And I don't know what that is. I think that's some kind of a fungus.